I've been thinking just how much AI has been integrated into our lives that sometimes we feel like we do not need to ask anybody anything. It's just useful to also talk about the power of community in this AI era. It is important to be part of a community, and in this AI era, it's even more valuable to be part of a community. A community is a place where people who have similar interests come together and they are able to help one another. Most people do not understand why it is important to be part of a community. AI is great at facts, but communities are great at context, because AI can provide context, but it has not lived in an environment that thing was done before. A community builds trust and authenticity. Recently, I've been thinking, is being part of a community important in the AI era? The essence of communities. Are they important in this generation where we have knowledge on our fingertips, and not just knowledge on our fingertips, but we have an assistant, we have a companion who is able to answer our problems or our questions at any time? Is it important to be part of any community? And so, welcome back to the SelfSeed podcast. Recently, I was reflecting on why I usually pioneer. Is it pioneer or just push the agenda of having a community? Let's say at OC, why we value so much having community, and what is the essence of us even building that community? And it just came back to my head to why is it? I think it's a good idea to talk about it, because most people do not understand why it is important to be part of a community, because some people don't see the value in it. And right now, with technology advancing so much, so rapid, like with the evolution of artificial intelligence, we can literally ask large language models, and even other companies, I think they're making this kind of digital avatars or digital companions that you can literally ask anything at any time, right? Even on your phone, you probably have an AI app that you can just open the recording, the mic, and you can just, converse with it as you're conversing with any person. And so where does the essence of communities fall into? And I was looking at one LinkedIn post, and it's, I don't recall exactly, but it was talking, this person had attended a conference in London for communities, especially in the AI era, and she had explained why is it important to have communities in today's, to be part of a community in today's developed world, right? And so I have been building a community for some years now. I've been trying to build communities. I am I'm leading a startup community in my city. I am part of a business network in my city. I'm part of a business club in Shanghai. I'm part of the Aussie tribe, which is a fitness community. I am part of another fitness hub, which is a fitness community where made by a colleague from Beijing. I am part of different types of communities, and I'm probably sure you are also part of a community, either be it a fitness or a meal preparation community, or there's just an accountability group, which in this essence, I'm just going to speak on all of them as, term all of them as communities or tribes, that because these are how do we first now define the aspect of community? So a community is, in my understanding, not just the dictionary understanding, but a community is a place where individuals have a certain, as in the last episode, I think I talked about, a mastermind group. And so a community is not necessarily a mastermind group, because a mastermind group can be like 5 people or something, but a community is a place where people who have similar interests come together and they are able to help one another. It can be they are able to hold each other accountable, they're able to inspire each other, they're able to share knowledge, to ask questions and all that. And so a community can be around things like fitness, wellness, health, AI, even like wherever career you're in, let's say I'm in engineering, there is almost in every part of the world, there's an engineering community. Or you are a salesperson, there's probably a sales community that you can learn, you can ask questions whenever you have questions. And so the answer to this question is simply yes. It is important to be part of a community. And in this AI era, it's even more valuable uh, to be part of a community, right? And so I've been thinking just how much AI has been integrated into our lives that sometimes we feel like we do not need to ask anybody anything, but then, or even companies don't need to, maybe they don't need to rely on maybe asking, doing surveys. I don't know, maybe to reach a point where you don't even need to do surveys, or maybe, you know, and I was just thinking, are communities still important, right? Is community engagement still imperative for success right now? And I think that's the answer. It is. Now, why? How is it important right now? Like, how is it even becoming more valuable now? In season two, in season three, I've talked about AI and the skills needed in this AI era, and I think it's just useful to also talk about the power of community in this AI era. Now, the first thing that can come to my head as why is it important to be part of a community? A community builds trust and authenticity. In a community comes through a community, like, because right now you can see on the internet there's a lot of AI generated materials, there's a lot of AI generated content and all that. But being part of a community, we tend to it's kind of, humans have a tendency to find, crave for human centered or human verified facts, human verified aspects. And so being part of a community sometimes, gives that authenticity that this thing is true because that person has, done it or has already experienced it and all that, right? It's just like when you want to use a certain service. Right now, you can ask AI to verify that service, but once you are part of a community of people who use that service, you're able to now really trust on that service even more than the AI, because AI can just scrape data from a website, right? And we know that in websites right now, anyone can write anything, or a brand can write a story of what they do, while, or testimonials or anything, but it's not really authentic. But once we have people who are able to tell us, oh, I used that service before, I think this is where we see the value of a community. And again, another thing is that AI community can be used for knowledge synthesis. Now we know that already AI does a lot of things. Like, you want to read a lot of things, then you can just put, let's say, a notebook LLM by Google. It can summarize. It can even create podcasts. It can even create flashcards, right? But then AI, like a community can be very useful to for you to be able to churn through knowledge quicker, right? Or to generate new knowledge, because then when you ask questions and people provide answers, but as well as provide evidence to their answers, this becomes it is very imperative in the development, individual development, right? Because AI is great at facts, but communities are great at context, because AI can provide context, but it has not lived in an environment that thing was done before. But then if we're working on a project, and let's say it is aimed to a certain demographic, it is important to be part of a community that you are able to ask questions that are relative to that demographic, compared to asking AI for general information. So when you're in a community, let's say of people of founders, right? And you are able to ask on how they deal maybe with challenges when they are expanding to overseas market. Let's say you're someone who's trying to help. Let's take an example how we try to help Chinese businesses expand to the African market. Then we are able to ask these questions to the AI, right? And AI will provide the general concept. But then It is the people who are on the ground. It is the people who have experienced. It is the people who are part of that demographic that they are able to now explain to you or give you the knowledge that is practical, that is relative to that environment, not just the general context, right? Because right now you can ask a question randomly on Google, and Google will have that AI section and then have the detailed the links or the websites following. But then that is just a part. But then when you have people, you're able to ask questions in these communities, then you're able to gain knowledge, to synthesize knowledge from different sources, and together you come up with a very valuable way forward. Another thing is emotional support. As I think I highlighted already, is that people yearn for connections, and as more as the technology is developing, there's it kind of still creates a gap. It creates a gap between people and people, because then we feel like we don't need people anymore, right? We have chatbots. We can, even right now, there are even chatbots that probably they are able to become like sexual companions, like they're emotional companions and all that. But at the end of time, people yearn connection. Humans yearn for human to human interaction, human connection, emotional support. So the AI era is actually bringing a gap, right? A rapid change, a rapid gap for, let's say, for even job uncertainty. So having a tribe that is supporting you, that is able to provide emotional resilience, is very important to navigate these daring times. And then there's also collective bargaining and ethics. Right now, let's say one person cannot, let's, in the context of AI still, one person cannot fight these giants and all that corporations, but a collective can reinforce a certain demand, can reinforce a certain demand that they need. Let's say recently I was listening to a case filed by authors of books, of various books, to Anthropic, and Anthropic was able to, like, they could have paid more damage, but they were able to settle, I think, for 3.2 billion US dollars. I think so. I don't remember the exact. It's either 1 billion or 3 billion. That, because they were using, let's say, these literal works to as a knowledge base for their AI, to train their AI, right? But some of them were obtained legally, but some of them were obtained from pirated. So you can see that that group of authors were able to file a motion and demand that Anthropic pays back and respects the works of others. And it goes the same way as if you saw the recently released TikTok, their AI used for video generation. I don't recall the name. They have a name. I forgot, anyways. And it's very popular in China. But Western companies like Disney, these kind of big corporations that make movies, had to come together. Let's call this, in this context, let's call it a community. They were able to come together and file a lawsuit and ask the company TikTok the ByteDance parent company of TikTok, to not continue with this AI video generator, because it was creating realistic cinematic shots, which in human hours, they take a lot of time, they take a lot of equipment, they take a lot of resources, they take a lot of people and minds and all that. But that AI could just do a scene promptly. Like this video they made of Jackie Chan, they made of various celebrities doing things, like the famous one, I think, is the one for Kanye West singing Chinese songs. Actually, it's not even Kanye West, it's just generated, but you could see it's like a real thing. And so communities such as these can become a bargaining power. They can become a powerful tool in enforcing ethics, especially in these challenging times of the technology development. But also, a community is able to push our goals. If we have any goals through a community, sometimes we are able to be held accountable. But an AI can, but at the same time, an AI doesn't reinforce, because an AI is somehow created, I think along the guardrails of always being a yes man. While if you're in a community, and let's say like the Aussie community, the Aussie tribe, we are able to, right now we're doing monthly challenges, and in the monthly challenges we are able to push one another to continue to do. We are able to encourage one another to continue to do that which we have committed to. And so I think a community, being part of a community, can help us to achieve our goals, but remain accountable as well to reach those goals. And so this brings me to the conclusion of my thinking process, that communities are important. And not just they are important, it's if you're not belonging to one, I advise that you belong. And by the way, on the link on the description here, you can see there's a link to my Aussie Tribe community, which you can join if you're a fan of wellness and all, and fitness, and you just want to improve your lifestyle. You can join that community. By the way, you can also follow my other YouTube channel, which deals with fitness and wellness. And so these type of areas, these type of communities, they are able to preserve human-centric skills, human-centric, how to say, connections. And so a community really helps us as humans to continue to push forward the civilization. Technology helps us to push the civilization, but human interaction continues to preserve the emotional aspect of our humanity, I guess. And so this kind of, makes me understand that it is worth doing the effort. It is worth the effort continuing to pursue this, community building, either be it startups community as the Scout Pass Opportunities Hub, or the Xi'an Startups Network, or the Xi'an Business Network, or the Aussie Tribe itself. It is a job worth doing, because human connections are still important in this AI era. And we had talked about skills in the AI era, and we talked about things like sympathy, leadership. These skills can be sharpened, like iron sharpens iron, like iron, I guess. So being part of a community can help us to to move. And so this podcast episode builds upon the mastermind group. From a mastermind group where it's a bridge for you to achieve your success, to really go out there. A community can help you now to amplify your success. A community can help you to continue to sell your products. If you're into product, if you're having one, a community can be a part where you continue to prevail, or continue to uphold the success that you got. And so I think the only challenge I can provide to you is choose a tribe. Choose a tribe of your likeness. You like reading books, choose a tribe to belong to. As the global icon said, he has a tribe for reading books. You like wellness and fitness, join the Aussie tribe. You like sales, you are into marketing, you are into engineering, you are into business development, you are into arts and craft, you are into whatever that it is. Just find a community, a tribe of like-minded individuals. In that way, you are able to continue to nurture the skill, but at the same time continue to meet new people and connect with new people. So yeah, that's my thinking process for today. That it concludes to the point that I say communities are important now more than ever. Communities are important now more than ever. If you're an entrepreneur, communities are important. If you are a businessman, communities are important. If you are an engineer, communities are important. If you are, I think whatever career that you're in, being part of a community sometimes can just help you get clarity. It can just help you know the unwritten rules that exist in a certain context, in a certain place, in a certain thing that you didn't know before. So until next Tuesday, try to be part of a community and try to see, is it providing the worth is it worthy? If it is not, try to find another community until you find a place where it is providing value to you and you're providing value to others. And in that way, we continue to build a better society, a better place. As young people, as however or whatever field that you're in, you'll continue to contribute to development, to a mutual development. Yeah, you'll continue to contribute to a larger development of the community, of the society. Until next time, see you. This is the SelfSeed podcast, and the SelfSeed podcast is available on all major platforms. So whatever platform that you're listening to, please don't leave without letting me know what you think about this episode or what you think about the SelfSeed podcast. Don't forget to give me a like, a comment, share, or something. I would appreciate very much. And thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for making it interesting. Until next time, keep growing.